This is Drop the Ball. The purpose of this lab is to distinguish the difference between accuracy and precision. For this lab, what you'll need is a ball, a stopwatch, and a meter stick. So for this lab, what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 different experiments. And we're going to try to figure out how long it takes this ball to fall 1 meter. Now, each of the 4 experiments limits the amount of lab equipment we can use. So the first experiment, what we're going to do is you do not have a timer or a measuring stick. What you're going to have is just the ball. Now, you are going to be doing the measuring in this one. You know about how tall 1 meter is, and you can kind of accurately time. So if I drop this ball from about 1 meter, well, I know it didn't take 1 minute to fall, right? We have an internal sense of time, and we can kind of measure it out. We also have like an internal measurement of length and height. I could tell you about how tall 1 meter is. So we're just gonna run this experiment 3 times and find the average. Now the next experiment, we're still not gonna have a measuring stick, but we will have a timer. So now we're gonna measure, like using our head, just about how tall 1 meter is, but we can use a timer to find out, okay, great, I dropped this ball, how long does it take to fall to hit the ground? Now the next experiment, you're not gonna have the timer, but you will have a measuring stick. So we will know, well, how tall 1 meter is, and we're gonna drop the ball, but now we're gonna use like our internal sense of time to find out how long the ball takes to drop. And the last experiment, we're gonna have both the measuring stick and the timer. So now using those 2 pieces of lab equipment, we should be able to find out how long it takes that ball to fall 1 meter. Now some of these experiments might seem a little silly. Like, yeah, we're not gonna get very accurate or precise answers, especially if we're not using like meter stick to find out how tall 1 meter is, or a timer to find that exact time. But that's the whole purpose of this experiment, is to tell the difference between accuracy versus precision. Now I like to think of the difference is if I'm throwing darts at a dartboard. Think of accuracy as how close those darts are to the bullseye. So there is an accepted time how long it takes this ball to fall 1 meter. Now if I get something like 5 minutes, well, I'm definitely not that accurate. Now precision, if I'm throwing darts at a dartboard, is how close those darts are to each other. So yeah, maybe one experiment I get half a second, the other one I get 5 minutes. Well, those aren't very precise. They're not very close to each other. So using that information and the data collected, think about of those 4 experiments, well, which one of those experiments is gonna have a high or low precision and accuracy? I'm gonna give you a little hint on this one. None of these experiments are going to have high accuracy and high precision. And that's because there is one limiting factor in all these experiments that are affecting the accuracy and precision. So think about, well, what was starting the stopwatch? What was dropping the ball? Think about, could we eliminate that limiting factor to be more accurate and more precise? Once again, this is Drop the Ball.